Has this ever happened to you too? You're scrolling through Pinterest late at night when you come across the most beautiful product and think to yourself, I could DIY that. That's exactly what happened with me in this lamp, and eventually inspired me to redo my entire office into a whimsical fairy forest, and I am taking you along for the ride. So grab a cozy beverage and let's get crafting. It is day one of transforming my office into a whimsical fairy forest, and we are going to start with this light. As you see, it is just literally two bulbs sticking out of my ceiling. So I'm gonna hang some flowers all around it and hopefully get like a cool chandelier. Fingers crossed this works. But first, we need to forage for some supplies at our local Dollar Tree. I am happy to report that this entire office renovation only cost me $50 because I got the majority of the supplies at Dollar Tree and Walmart, as well as foraged for a few things outside as well. But for this craft in particular, all you need is that wire wreath form you see on the ground there, which you can get at Dollar Tree for $1.25, and these wisteria branches you can grab at Walmart for about $7 each. To actually make it, I just pulled apart the flowers to branch them out a little bit and then wove it into the wire wreath form. I didn't even need to use that floral wire that I had handy on the ground right there. And then once I had all 5 wisteria flowers in place, I added a few little extra ferns and leaves just to lush it out. This whole process took me maybe an hour. What really took the most time on Monday was getting it installed safely around the existing light without anything touching it. And I was able to use command hooks and some extra wire I had laying around, so that way I could remove this if I ever decided I didn't want my office to be a whimsical fairy forest. But I don't really see that happening because listen to my reaction once I finally got it up. It's up! Oh my god, wait, that looks so cool. I am absolutely obsessed with how this first DIY came out. It was so simple, but already is making such an impact, and my office feels so much more cozy and magical. I'm curious, will you try this in yours, or are you gonna do one of the other DIYs I have for you this week? Good morning! On Instagram, everyone voted they wanted to see me turn one of the mirrors in my office into a Mossy portal. So that is what we're going to do today, but I'm currently waiting for them to vote in my stories and let me know which mirror I should do, because we have the moon phases, and then we have that square one that says, "Happy looks good on you." So I'm waiting for their responses, and in the meantime, I'm doing a little bit of work today. I'm currently creating a new masterclass that is going to teach you how to create a passive product, so that way you can have a bit more of a sustainable income and more spaciousness in your schedule. So you could do things like take the whole Monday off to make a flower chandelier or whatever you want to do with your free time. So be on the lookout for that, but I'm gonna do a little bit of work and then we'll get to making a mess. Because if you have ever worked with moss, you know that shit gets everywhere. So honestly, I should probably just bring the vacuum down and have it right on hand, because it's gonna be a messy project, but it's gonna be magical. Okay, first things first, we have to turn on my fairy lights in this plant. If you've never realized in my videos, this is a fake plant, but I put some twinkle fairy lights in it, and it's an easy way to add a bit of fairy magic to your office if you don't feel like getting into all this messiness. But I do have a plan. So I think for the mirrors, because I'm not still sure if I want to do the moon one or the square one, because Instagram's like at 50-50 pull right now, I'm going to use double-sided tape. So that way in the future, if I decide I wanted to do the other mirror or just want to get rid of the whole moss thing's too messy, I could just remove the tape and I didn't ruin these cool mirrors. So fingers crossed this actually works. I'm also adding some little pine cones that I grabbed from outside, some fake flowers I had left over from another project, these crystals that I think I got from Dollar Tree, as well as these butterflies that I just picked up from Walmart. But I want to remind you, before you go shopping for stuff, go outside and forage for it. Pine cones, acorns, leaves, all of that stuff would literally be perfect for a fairy forest and makes it more sustainable and budget friendly as well. I am loving how these mirrors turned out. It's like the perfect little sprinkle of whimsy in here, and I didn't want to go too crazy on them. One, because I film meditations over here sometimes and I didn't want it to be too distracting, and I feel like this is the perfect like little addition to my fairy forest without it being too overpowering. And I also really love that it's all removable because I use a double-sided tape and command hooks or command strips, which I feel like 3M should sponsor me because I've used them multiple times in this office. Anyways, I can remove all of this without damage, hopefully. So if I ever want to change it or if I want to do that mirror instead one day, it should be no problem. But I love how easy this was. I love the little bit of charm it added to that space. And tomorrow we're doing a much bigger DIY. We're finally going to tackle that tulip, daisy, snowdrop, whatever it ends up being lamp. So fingers crossed that goes as easy as all the other DIYs have gone so far, but I guess we'll find out together tomorrow. So I'll see you then. It is finally time for the DIY that inspired this whole office redo. Turning this basic ass Walmart lamp that I think all of us had in our college dorms into a tulip or a snowdrop. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm waiting on Instagram yet again to let me know which one I should do. But luckily I'm just using these plant cloches that you get from Dollar Tree.
And I'm gonna cut them into the petals, or like the flower head, and just replace the lampshades. So I could make both and change them out depending on my mood that day. So I'm not sure which one we're going to start with, but I'm gonna get started painting these, and then
the rest of this DIY is really simple. I'm just going to use this frog tape that's already green. It's really just painter's tape. But instead of trying to paint the entire stem, aka rod of the lamppost, I'm just going to tape it in green. And the bottom, we're going to use this felt to make like a little green grassy hill, mushrooms, acorns, you know, whimsical shit. So theoretically, this sounds really easy and like I'm gonna absolutely crush it. But if I learned anything from the past 2 DIYs I've done, it's gonna take way longer than anticipated. So we're starting early today, and please give me a thumbs up for some good vibes because I don't see anyone else DIYing this on the internet. So this might be a first time ever in humanity, and we're totally winging it.
So a little pro tip, if you ever decide to tape a lamp, I found it was much easier to go up and down versus spiraling around it. And using the painter's tape was such a good idea because I could easily remove it and put it back on if I wanted to like readjust it or fix out the wrinkles. 10 out of 10 would recommend doing this versus painting it because that would have been even more messy and more time consuming.
So I know I said I'm going to use the plant cloches to make the tops, but I'm curious if I can take the existing like lampshade and if I would be able to cut a little like petal pattern into it. So I'm gonna draw a stencil and we're gonna see what happens. I was not expecting this to work because plastic usually cracks when you cut it, but this actually came out really good. I just need to like sand or Dremel or maybe take a box cutter to get the actual curves in because I currently have like triangles and it kind of looks like a cracked egg. But I'm really excited because I get to use the original lampshades, which kind of have like the frosted white vibe, and then I could also use the cloches and turn these hopefully into tulip petals, and I'll have 2 different lamps for the price of one 10 years ago. So I'm gonna figure out how to make this work, but just to give you an idea of like how easy it is to put back together, you put this lampshade over the little threaded hole. You take the little, what do we call this, a nut? I don't know. Twist that on. And then we take handy dandy light bulb. Oh my gosh, wait, this looks so good already. Before I even like get it perfect. All right, plug this in. Moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. That is so cute. Even before fixing it, it's cute. The only thing, I need to get a shorter light bulb because you can kind of see it like out the bottom. It's literally just short enough, which I guess is something to keep in mind. Measure the length of your light bulb compared to the lamp and don't cut shorter than that or your light's gonna stick out. But maybe I can get like an older bulb that's more like yellow so it'll look like the center of a flower, if you know what I mean. Wow. That is so cute! I love it. Okay, time to do the big shade on top, which this is gonna take a while. So I tried to cut the big lampshade and
immediately cracked. So we are going to keep it as is so we don't ruin it. I forgot that I wanted to add a leaf to the side, like over here, just like the inspo picture had. So I have a container lid from some organic spinach, and we're just gonna cut a leaf shape and then cover it in green tape and probably just tape it on. But once we do this, the only thing that's left is to decorate the base into a little like fairy forest. So we are getting there, getting close. All right, we have our leaf. Obviously, this will be the back side with, what is it, organic baby spinach. We're gonna hide the sticker. And I'm thinking we go like opposite. Step on scissors here. We go opposite that light. I don't know if tape's gonna be strong enough. I might need to put a wire in this, like some floral wire to wrap it around. Yeah, okay. So in order to get it at the angle I want, I'm gonna add some floral wire to this, and then we'll come back at it. I added a few pieces of wire, as you can see, and luckily it also helped cover up the sticker. So let's see if that's the secret we needed to get this leaf to stay as we want it. A little bit closer look at this tape job. It is in no means perfect. I am not saying this is an exact replica of that $180 lamp we saw online, but for a couple bucks of tape and a $15 lamp, that's pretty good. I guess I could smooth this out a bit. Maybe I'll do another layer to try to cover this up. It is time for the last and most fun part, decorating the base. So I'm gonna use this felt from Dollar Tree to create, you know, like a little grass base for us. And then I'm gonna glue on some little flowers. I have this cute duck pond. I just painted some wooden mushrooms, so those will go on as well. But let's secure this base and then we'll get to all of that. So I just double taped this felt base down so that way it's removable. But then on top, I'm gonna go in with my hot glue gun and a little bit of moss to, you know, make it look not like just a piece of felt draped over. Okay, moss complete. Now I just have some cute little figurines, and I don't think I'm gonna glue these ducks on because I might want to use them again later, but I am gonna glue these flowers, and then I also just got done painting the mushrooms. Okay, 5 hours later and we are done with this. I love how it came out. It is so cute, definitely worth all of the effort, and adds the perfect amount of light to the space because it definitely got a bit darker in here since I added all of the flowers to my overhead light. So I love having a little lamp in that corner, especially because I journal here in the morning, so I can turn on my lamp, be nice and cozy. But let's take a closer look at it. So starting with our mossy base, this was a mess, but I think it came out really cute and helped disguise the base of it. And then I will say using tape for the whole stem saved me a lot of time and mess. The leaf turned out pretty good considering this is a piece of recycled plastic from our garbage. And of course, the star of the show, the Snowdrop lamp. Ah, it is so cute. I love the scallop edging on it. I could do a little bit more sanding to clean this up, but it's definitely giving the vibe of the original inspo piece for way less. And then the top of it. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I honestly don't hate how it looks. And like I said in videos, I always sit down in my videos, so you really would only see the bottom part of the lamp, which is totally fine. So let me know what you would do with the top part if you have any ideas, but for now, I'm really, really happy with it. And tomorrow we have more DIYs coming. So I'm gonna go relax. It has been a little bit exhausting being this creative every day and having to re-clean my office every day because crafting is messy as hell, as well as filming it all. It definitely takes a lot more effort. So I'm gonna go relax and I will see you tomorrow. Today might be the easiest DIY of all. All we're going to do is paint this little LED rechargeable lamp into a mushroom. So I've got some red acrylic paint here and I've already started taping off some little spots to keep them white. And like I said, this will be the easiest one of the week so far. Okay, time for the moment of truth. Will these little patches keep the white? Oh, it worked. Perfect. How I'm gonna get the other ones, I don't know. Maybe tweezers. Tweezers might be the right call. I'll just get paint on my nails, it's fine. As you can see, some of the paint did leak underneath the tape spots, but luckily a wet Q-tip is taking care of that pretty well. So I'm just gonna go around and tidy up all of the circles, and then we'll do our grand reveal. That mushroom lamp came out pretty stinking cute, and I think was the perfect DIY to end this week. All we have to do tomorrow is a couple final touches, add a little bit more decor everywhere, but that was the last project I had. So I'm curious, what has been your favorite so far? Which one are you gonna add to your whimsical fairy office, living room, baby nursery, whatever you're making this for? Let me know down in the comments, and make sure to keep watching because we're gonna do the final reveal after we add a couple more touches. A little bonus DIY for the day. I am making a really cute crochet succulent pillow for my office, and in the blog in the description below I have a bunch more bonus ideas for you. So if you didn't see something in this video you want to try, definitely check out that blog as well for even more whimsical fairy decor. Today's the day. We are finishing up my office, but first we had to come outside and grab some cedar so I can make a garland. And I also had to grab her, my cute little wife, to help me lift a really big maple log that we've had in our shed for like years. A neighbor had to cut down his trees and we asked if we could take it. But I'm hoping to use it as a side table for my meditation space. So we're gonna struggle and get a bit of a workout in because it's very big and heavy. And then we'll cut some cedar and go inside and finish up this whimsical fairy forest transformation. And while my wife works on cutting up that log, I'm going to harvest some of the cedar to make a garland to go under my desk. And a little tip for you, I have found out of all evergreen that cedar tends to last the longest compared to like spruce, juniper, pine. It stays green for like 4 to 6 months and it doesn't drop needles like crazy. So I definitely prefer it when I use it inside for decorating. I still actually have the cedar that I cut around Christmas time up on my mantle and it still looks almost brand new. So I'm gonna cut a bunch more of this and then we'll see how the sanding project is going. Okay, while that lacquer dries, I am going to take this cedar and decorate my desk because I have this like gap in here, which you can see I store a lot of random stuff. I'm gonna clean all that out, but I'm thinking of making it into like a garland, you know, hanging out, almost like it's giving the Taylor Swift piano in Cardigan, if you know what I'm talking about. I want it to look like this has been in the forest being taken over by cedar and moss and all that. And then I have a few more extra little things to add, a couple more butterflies, some mushrooms, and this adorable little fairy like window door. I might put it on the stump that I'm gonna put like right there to hold my morning coffee and journals and all that stuff. I might try to make that stump look like a fairy lives in it because that's the vibe in here. So we are gonna get at it and then I think we're done for the day. Oh wait, I have one more thing I need to do. I finally got more frames for all of my certifications. I currently have 4, working on my 5th right now. But I only have 3 frames, so got a couple more, and I think we're gonna go up and over the door with it, and then we will be done redecorating my whole office into a magical fairy forest. So let's get to it. Okay, so after doing all of the cedar here and also up on the shelf, I think this is too much and it's almost giving like Christmas garland. So instead I'm gonna use some more Spanish moss and double-sided tape and just kind of do like moss overflowing in the corners. And we'll see if I like that more. So fingers crossed that's the answer. the moss is coming out so much cuter, and I think it's gonna be a better solution long term because the cedar will eventually turn brown and I have to replace it every 6 months, where this is already dried. So I think we're gonna stick with this. I might add just like a couple sprigs of the cedar to kind of like fill in, because I'm running a bit low on my Spanish moss and it is a massive mess in my office yet again. But we're gonna do a couple little sprigs of cedar here and there, and I think the desk will be complete. Which, fun fact, I actually DIY'd this desk years ago. I found it on Facebook Marketplace and it was a mess, like some children's plastered stickers all over it. So we spray painted it black. I added this fake marble countertop. It's literally just wallpaper. Spray painted all of like the accents gold. It came out really cute. So I'm glad I was able to keep it and fit it into the theme, because it is heavy as heck and I didn't want to go out and buy a brand new desk, and I kind of love that I made it. So now we're just making it over a little bit more whimsical. I almost forgot to show you, I finished our crochet succulent pillow. I'm really happy with how this turned out because I made up the pattern on my own. So I can't link this exact one because it's a creation of my own mind, but I saw a similar one on Etsy that I will share either in the description or the blog below, so that way you can make one too. But we're gonna pop this over on my meditation bench, and then all we need is our stump for my table, and we are done with the office transformation.
By the way, we did add these felt pads that you can get for the bottom of your furniture to this stump, so that way when we slide it around, we won't mess up the wood floors. It also makes it a little bit easier to pick up, but I would highly recommend these for all of your furniture. It just makes it so much easier when you're trying to move stuff on your own. And now I'm just adding our few final touches. Of course, more moss, more fairy houses, a couple of ducks, because I'm manifesting my wife build us a duck house and pond one day. So a lot of ducks in here, but I'm loving how this little side table turned out, and love that this was completely free. Just because I went to Dollar Tree and Walmart to buy some stuff doesn't mean that you have to spend a lot of money in order to redo your office. Like I said, the entire transformation this week was $50, and the projects we did today were 100% free.
It's done. We completed it. We DIY'd my entire office and took it from its girl boss hustle mode era to a very soft, cozy, magical space that feels so much more like me and so much more on brand. And it's really on brand that I did majority of this by myself, because I've built my business the past 7 years completely by myself. Like every single post, every single website page, every single offer, every single email, every word of my business has been me. So it just makes sense that I would DIY into my entire office redo on my own. And that just, it makes me really proud, because growing up I didn't feel like I was a creative person. So being able to do all of this with just $50 and using stuff we already had and foraging for stuff outside, it just feels really good and like such an accomplishment. And I'm so grateful that you came along with me for this journey and saw it all the way to the end. You seriously are a real one, and I love you for watching this video. And if you'd like to see more like it, let me know down in the comments, because I have a lot of more craft ideas floating around in this head of mine and would love to share them with you. So let me know down below if you'd like to do more crafting together. And also, while you're down there, subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this, helping you grow your small business while living a slow, magical life. So until the next video, have a magical one.